Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This lecture is about minutes of meeting, and we would see here that what are the meeting minutes, what is the purpose of writing them, and how to write them. So we will start with the definition of meeting minutes, which is that these are notes which are recorded during a meeting, which highlight the key issues and important decisions and important actions that are agreed upon. And mostly these minutes of meeting are written down by a person who is a designated member of the group. Now, what is the purpose of writing meeting minutes? The purpose is to remind you, here you means the people who have attended the meeting or who were unable to attend the meeting, that the purpose is to remind them that what was discussed and agreed upon and what actions are to be taken upon decisions. And that's how they do need to record clearly and simply what decisions were made. The writer of the meeting minutes must write down clearly and simply by using a simple language that what decisions are taken in the meeting and who's going to carry them out. So briefly we see that importantly the meeting minutes, they answer these 10 questions. And what are these questions? When was the meeting? The time of the meeting? Who attended? Who did not attend? If that's important. What topics were discussed means that what was the agenda of the meeting? What decisions were taken? What actions were agreed upon? And who's the responsible person? Who's the person responsible to take up these actions and by when? What is the deadline? As well as some other important information or special information if needed. That's a part of the meeting minutes. And if a follow-up meeting is scheduled, then when this meeting is going to be and what would be the agenda of the follow-up or the next meeting. So your meeting minutes must answer these 10 questions. Having a look at the format, we see that minutes of meeting are always written in the past tense. They must be clear, concise, and they must you must make use of the active and specific vocabulary while writing the meeting minutes, and not to use the passive or vague phrases. And you may make use of such verbs like agreed, requested, resolved, suggested. And further, I've written down some verbs which are very important for the writer of the meeting minutes. They must make use of these verbs while writing down the minutes. Like this classification of verbs, they are about, you may make use of these verbs when you are writing minutes. And what are these verbs? Mention, indicate, they complained, the person agreed, they promised, summarized, requested, expressed, so on and so forth. And these are the verbs that express actions. You may write down in order to express the actions or the decisions: to organize, to contact, to arrange, to define, to finalize, to send, etc. More about format, that this is important, that meeting minutes must be written down under the headings. You must give headings because that would make it easy for the reader to skim for the relevant information. And these headings could be like, you may write down the topics that were discussed, decisions, actions, person responsible, deadline, next meeting, and the agenda, date, time, location, and agenda items of the next meeting. So your meeting minutes must be written down under headings, and these could be the headings. More information about meeting minutes, we would see that before the meeting starts, the writer of the meeting minutes must ensure that he or she has written down what type of meeting that is, name of the organization, the date and time of the meeting, name of the chair or facilitator, and the agenda of the meeting as well. And when the meeting starts, the writer of the meeting minutes understand what is said and take notes. And he may write and he should write down the name of the attendees, the key decisions made, and the next steps and actions agreed upon. And if the writer of the meeting minutes happen to not to understand anything, he must ask and clear it at that moment. He must clarify it so that he would be able to impart that clarity to the readers. After that, after the meeting ends, write the meeting minutes soon after the meeting ends. And be sure, when I say that write the meeting minutes soon after the meeting ends, it means that review the minutes and to type them and to make them neat. And if there is, and also make sure that you are going to approve the meeting minutes by the chair or facilitator before distributing them to the attendees. So circulate the minutes to everyone who was there, and as soon as you possibly can. This means that everyone keeps what was discussed and agreed to in mind, because most of the time this happens that people, they attend the meeting, but after that they promptly forget about it. So this is important, and the meeting minute writer is going to actually help them by sending them the copy of the meeting minutes. The meeting minutes writer is going to help them to get one step closer to actually doing it, what was decided. So that's important, to send a copy to each person, to each individual soon after the meeting ends, in order to remind them what was decided and agreed upon. Here, have a look at the template of the meeting minutes. You may write down your meeting minutes under this template by using such kind of template or any other template. So here you see this includes the information, important information, that like what's the purpose of the meeting, and who's the person responsible who called the meeting, the chair or facilitator, organization, the date, the time and the venue, and agenda items of the last meeting, and attendees, absents, and then the meeting that is being undertaken at the moment, as well as that here you may give the summary of the key decisions, and you may also write down, if the next meeting is scheduled, you may also write down the information about the next meeting over here. So that's a complete template which actually provides information about the previous, the current, as well as the upcoming meeting and the agendas. Now have a look at do's and don'ts. So do write minutes soon after the meeting. That's important, so because that's in that way you're going to remind the people of the actions, and as you're also going to that's also going to help the people who were not able to attend at what the meeting was all about and what decisions were taken. So that's important, to write meeting minutes soon after the meeting. Don't skip writing minutes just because everyone attended it. Don't describe all the he said, she said details, and unless those details are very important. So you are simply going to write down the topics discussed, decisions made, and actions to be taken. Don't include any information that will embarrass anyone, and always use a positive language. Rather than describing the discussions as heated or angry, use passionate, lively, or energetic. So use a positive language, use active vocabulary, specific vocabulary, instead of vague words or vague terms. So thank you for today. Hope that is clear to you. Thank you.